In a world with over 12,000 nuclear warheads, rising geopolitical tensions, and military alliances preparing for potential conflict, one question haunts strategic planners worldwide. Which countries would actually survive World War III? Today, we're ranking every region on Earth from safest to most vulnerable, analyzing geography, nuclear risk, military alliances, and strategic importance. Some answers might surprise you. The Pacific island you thought was safe? It might host a critical military base. The landlocked nation you dismissed? It could be the ultimate refuge. We'll examine all 9 nuclear-armed states, 32 NATO members, and dozens of neutral countries to determine who would emerge from global conflict relatively unscathed. This isn't about who would win World War III, because in nuclear war, nobody truly wins. This is about survival and the cold calculus of geography, politics, and strategic value. Let's dive in. Before ranking countries, we need to understand what World War III would actually look like. As of 2025, 9 countries possess nuclear weapons: the United States, Russia, China, the United Kingdom, France, India, Pakistan, North Korea, and Israel. Russia leads with over 5,500 warheads, followed by the United States with approximately 5,000. Together, these two superpowers control 87% of the world's nuclear arsenal, with about 2,100 warheads on high operational alert. But modern warfare extends beyond nuclear weapons. NATO, now comprising 32 member states after Sweden and Finland joined in response to Russian aggression, represents the world's most powerful military alliance. Its collective defense principle means an attack on one member triggers a response from all. Meanwhile, Russia maintains partnerships with Belarus, and China's growing influence creates alternative power centers. Geography matters enormously. Countries in the southern hemisphere face less nuclear fallout due to atmospheric circulation patterns. Island nations far from conflict zones enjoy natural protection. Landlocked countries surrounded by neutral states can remain isolated from invasion routes. Resource independence, food, water, energy, determines whether a nation can sustain itself during prolonged conflict when global trade collapses. Strategic value determines targeting. Military bases, industrial centers, ports, and capitals become prime targets. Countries hosting nuclear weapons, like the 5 European NATO nations with U.S. nuclear gravity bombs, face elevated risks. Technology hubs, semiconductor manufacturers, and rare earth mining operations might see conflict as superpowers compete for strategic resources. Finally, alliances can be double-edged swords. NATO membership provides collective security, but also makes you a target. Neutrality offers protection, but provides no guarantees. Treaties signed today might collapse under wartime pressure. With this framework established, let's begin our rankings in 5 parts. Part 1. The safest, Tier 1 countries topping our list is New Zealand. This Pacific nation possesses nearly perfect survival characteristics. Its geographic isolation, located over 2,000 kilometers from Australia, provides natural protection from ground invasion. The southern hemisphere location minimizes nuclear fallout exposure due to limited atmospheric exchange across the equator. New Zealand's anti-nuclear stance, established in 1984, means no nuclear weapons transit its territory, removing it as a strategic target. The country maintains food and water self-sufficiency, with extensive agriculture and clean water resources. Its population of 5 million could theoretically absorb limited refugee flows. Small military presence and distance from major conflict zones complete the picture. The primary threats would be global trade collapse and potential refugee crises, but short-term survival prospects remain exceptional. Chile's geography reads like a survival manual. The Andes Mountains create a natural eastern barrier, making conventional invasion nearly impossible. Western Pacific isolation provides additional protection. No nuclear weapons, no major military alliances targeting it, and no strategic resources worth nuclear strikes work in Chile's favor. The country stretches 4,300 kilometers north to south, offering diverse climate zones and agricultural capacity. Remote southern regions like Patagonia could remain virtually untouched. Political stability and modern infrastructure provide resilience. While northern neighbors might experience conflict spillover, Chile's geographic advantages make it one of Earth's safest locations during global war. Iceland's volcanic island isolation, minimal military significance, and NATO membership create unique protection dynamics. While technically a NATO member, Iceland maintains no standing army, making it a low-priority target. Its location between North America and Europe could involve transit concerns, but the island's small population of 380,000 and lack of military infrastructure reduce strategic value. Geothermal energy provides power independence, though food imports present vulnerabilities. The bigger threat comes from being on flight paths during conflict, but direct targeting remains unlikely. Cold War history shows Iceland's survival value. Its radar stations monitored Soviet movements without becoming primary targets. Several African and South American nations occupy the safest tier through neutral policies, stable governance, and irrelevance to major power conflicts. Botswana's stable democracy, diamond wealth managed carefully, and landlocked position surrounded by relatively stable neighbors create safety. Uruguay's neutral stance, agricultural self-sufficiency, and distance from Brazil's urban centers provide security. Namibia's low population density, coastal isolation, and minimal strategic value complete this group. Part 2. Relatively safe. Tier 2 countries. Australia. Australia drops to Tier 2 despite favorable geography due to its strong U.S. alliance and hosting of military installations. The Pine Gap facility, crucial for U.S. intelligence and missile detection, makes Australia a potential target in any U.S.-China conflict. AUKUS alliance commitments further increase involvement risk. However, Australia's massive size, small coastal population centers, and vast interior wilderness provide resilience. The outback could absorb populations fleeing cities. Food and resource self-sufficiency, particularly in Western Australia and Tasmania, offers survival capacity. Distance from Northern Hemisphere conflicts reduces fallout risk. The nation walks a fine line between alliance obligations and geographic advantages. Sweden and Finland's recent NATO membership fundamentally altered their risk profiles. Finland's 1,340-kilometer border with Russia makes it a frontline state. Sweden's Baltic location and industrial capacity increase targeting likelihood. However, both nations maintain extensive civil defense systems, including fallout shelters for significant portions of their populations, a Cold War legacy renewed. Norway's oil and gas resources, plus NATO membership and proximity to Russia's northern fleet, create vulnerabilities. Denmark's strategic Baltic position raises similar concerns. Yet all four countries possess robust infrastructure, resource access, educated populations, and civil preparedness that enhance survival odds compared to more chaotic regions. Switzerland's legendary neutrality faces modern tests. While historically protected through balanced diplomacy, the country's financial systems connect it to global powers. However, extensive bunker systems capable of sheltering the entire population, mountain fortress geography, and genuine military neutrality provide substantial protection. The Swiss maintain serious defense forces despite neutrality, with every adult male trained and armed. Food stockpiles, water security, and energy reserves demonstrate serious preparation. Alpine territory makes invasion difficult. Primary threats involve being caught between combatants or facing refugee pressures from surrounding conflicts. Southeast Asian neutrals Indonesia, Malaysia, and Singapore present mixed pictures. Indonesia's archipelagic geography and massive population create resilience through dispersal, though Java's density presents vulnerabilities. Malaysia's resources and position between powers offer both opportunity and risk. Singapore's strategic port location and advanced military make it valuable but potentially targeted. Part 3. Moderate risk. Tier 3 countries. Canada's NATO membership, shared NORAD responsibilities, and border with the United States create unavoidable involvement in any major conflict. Canadian forces bases, particularly those with air defense roles, become targets. However, Canada's vast wilderness, especially northern territories, provides refuge zones essentially immune to targeting. The country's resources, fresh water, timber, minerals, and agricultural capacity, ensure self-sufficiency. Small population relative to enormous territory means potential for dispersal. Quebec's remote regions, the Yukon, and Northwest Territories could remain virtually untouched. Major cities like Toronto, Vancouver, and Montreal face risks, but rural Canada might weather global war better than most inhabited regions. Brazil's enormous territory and resource wealth create both protection and risk. The Amazon rainforest, home to isolated indigenous groups, would likely remain untouched regardless of global events. However, cities like São Paulo and Rio de Janeiro concentrate population vulnerably. Political instability and economic challenges reduce crisis resilience compared to developed nations. Yet agricultural capacity, energy resources including potential nuclear program development, and regional power status provide survival tools. Brazil's neutral foreign policy and distance from major conflicts offer protection, but internal challenges could prove as dangerous as external threats. Japan faces severe challenges. Despite no nuclear weapons, its U.S. alliance, hosting of American bases, and strategic position near China and Russia make it a certain target in major conflict. Dense urban population concentration creates catastrophic vulnerability. Tokyo alone houses 37 million people. However, Japan's advanced civil defense, earthquake-prepared infrastructure, and cultural discipline provide resilience factors. Island geography offers some invasion resistance. Rural regions and mountainous areas provide potential refuge. But proximity to nuclear powers, alliance commitments, and lack of strategic depth place Japan firmly in moderate to high-risk categories. Mexico and Central America geographic proximity to the United States brings unavoidable consequences for Mexico. Refugee flows, supply chain disruptions, and potential spillover violence would affect northern states particularly. However, southern regions like Chiapas and the Yucatan might remain relatively isolated. Central American nations face similar dynamics, close enough for disruption, far enough for potential isolation. Part 4. High risk. Tier 4 countries. Most European NATO nations face high risk through alliance obligations and geography. Poland, with its border with Russia and Belarus, sits on potential invasion routes. The Baltic states, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, face existential threats given their size and position. Germany hosts U.S. nuclear weapons and major NATO infrastructure. The United Kingdom and France, as nuclear powers themselves, become automatic targets in any nuclear exchange. Italy, home to multiple U.S. bases and nuclear weapons, faces similar risks. Spain, Turkey, Belgium, and the Netherlands all host nuclear weapons or critical NATO facilities. However, European advantages include developed infrastructure, emergency systems, and coordinated defense. Bunker systems in countries like Finland and Norway provide civilian protection. Its mountain regions in Switzerland and Austria could shelter refugees. But urban areas from London to Berlin would face immediate danger in any European conflict. Middle Eastern states. Israel's nuclear capabilities and ongoing conflicts create maximum risk status. Iran's nuclear ambitions and regional tensions place it similarly. Saudi Arabia's oil wealth makes it strategically crucial and thus potentially targeted. Gulf states hosting U.S. military presence face automatic involvement. Egypt controls the Suez Canal, a critical choke point. Turkey straddles Europe and Asia, hosts NATO facilities, and faces multiple regional tensions. The entire region's resource wealth, religious tensions, and existing conflicts create a powder keg likely to explode in any global war scenario. South Korea and Taiwan. These democratic Asian nations face perhaps the highest conventional war risk. South Korea's 38th parallel tension with nuclear-armed North Korea creates perpetual crisis potential. Taiwan's situation vis-a-vis China represents one of the most likely flashpoints for World War III initiation. Both nations maintain strong militaries and U.S. security guarantees, but their geographic positions make them frontline states in any Pacific conflict. Urban population density, small territory, and lack of strategic depth severely limit survival options. Part 5. Maximum risk. Tier 5 countries. Russia, the United States, and China face the highest risk as primary combatants possessing massive nuclear arsenals. Major cities become certain targets. Washington, Moscow, Beijing, New York, St. Petersburg, and Shanghai would face immediate strikes. However, these nations' vast territories provide survival pockets. Rural Russia, the American interior, and Western China might avoid direct targeting. But infrastructure collapse, radiation, and nuclear winter effects would devastate survivors. The United Kingdom and France, as smaller nuclear powers, face complete vulnerability. Their limited territory offers no refuge from nuclear exchange. India and Pakistan's subcontinental rivalry creates mutual destruction scenarios. North Korea's isolation offers no protection given its nuclear program and hostile relations. Israel's small size eliminates any survival space in nuclear scenarios. Ukraine and active war zones countries currently experiencing conflict face obvious maximum risk as wars would intensify and expand. Geography, neutrality, and luck determine survival in World War III scenarios. Southern Hemisphere isolation, mountain fortresses, and island nations offer best protection. Alliance membership provides security until war erupts, then becomes a target. Resource independence beats trade dependence during global collapse. Population density in capitals creates vulnerability, while rural expanse offers refuge. But remember, these rankings assume limited nuclear war. Full-scale nuclear exchange creates nuclear winter, killing billions through starvation regardless of location. No bunker provides permanent safety. No distance ensures security. The only true survival strategy? Preventing World War III altogether. What country surprised you most? Let me know in the comments. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more upcoming content like this.